Okay, what's my intro again?
You're asking us like we haven't made a video with you in so long.
Yeah, our last podcast with you was like what, in March or something?
Way later,
Remember?
way earlier than that.
Yeah, it's been like over a year.
All right. Welcome to the Midnight Channel podcast, the podcast that I really don't remember my intro actually. Whoa.
Nice.
Yeah, because you haven't made it in so long.
I know, but I never had a definitive intro. All right, guys, welcome to the Midnight Channel podcast. The podcast. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, no. Okay, I got it this time.
Write it down, Andrew.
No, I got it this time. I'm gonna turn off the Animal Crossing music just in case it's heard.
It's showtime!
Alright guys, welcome to the Midnight Channel podcast, the most unorganized podcast on the internet. Today I have my fellow hosts. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Samantha.
Hello, I'm Alyssa.
Alright, and today's going to be a special occasion because Sam will be facilitating the conversation in celebration of her new series going on her YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll try.
You sound so unenthusiastic.
Yeah, dude, this is like...
Relax.
Okay.
I'm tired. Okay. Are you guys ready?
What,
I
to get
guess
our
so.
minds blown?
Oh, maybe. I had a whole existential crisis after this, so
Freaking serious?
I'm completely serious. Okay. So today we're gonna be discussing the simulation theory.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys know about the simulation theory? Let's start with that.
It's like a less cooler version of the Matrix.
Does it?
I don't know. I don't have any cool superpowers. I can't dodge bullets. I can't, like... I don't know Kung Fu. Alright? This is a lamer version of the Matrix. Am I wrong? Like...
How about you, Alyssa?
Isn't it just like, giving everyone an existential crisis because it's like saying no one's real, everything is fake?
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Basically,
Okay.
according to Wikipedia, very reliable source,
Wikipedia.
it's the proposal that all reality, including Earth and the rest of the universe, could be an artificial simulation.
Okay, but how would that work?
So I was right.
Yeah, but like...
I mean, technically, that's like the Matrix too.
Yeah. Okay, but now here's my question. How does that work? That's a tarantula. How does...
Huh?
I'm playing Animal Crossing right now as I'm doing it, because you're being the host. No, but okay, how would that work, right? So, like, how advanced would technology have to be for like, the government, I'm assuming, to put, like, all of us under, like, a sort of simulation, right? It's like... So, basically, what I'm asking is, like, how would they have, like, access, like, basically... like every human being, assuming that we're not just like the last people on Earth or something, right?
So the idea isn't that it's the government that's controlling us. It's that there's like some other worldly figure that's like would be basically our god. It's like another more advanced civilization are the ones controlling us, not people in this world.
Damn, I always knew there was something wrong with the Jetsons.
Okay, so basically, the whole thing is basically that everything's just merely a high-tech computer simulation, like The Sims, but on crack.
Oh my god.
And this is like an idea that started like a long time ago, though. It's not like a recent thing.
Yeah,
There's
probably because
literally
of the
things-
Matrix.
No, but this is like began in ancient times. Like this idea that we're all like not ourselves, I guess.
I feel like there's always just existentialism existing no matter what time period it is. There's always like the thought, right? Like I wake up sometimes thinking just like, if I die, what do I see, right? Because like you're seeing the world through like your lens, right? Does everything just shut off, right? Or do I just wake up in a laboratory where like my body's all shriveled up and I'm like in that like crappy tinfoil suit type thing, like and like the dry ice smoke is just coming out from a pot or something, right?
Well, it depends what theory you're listening to.
So
Because some theories say that you're like a character being played by someone else, but others say that like you're just not real at all and you're just basically code somewhere.
So like
an AI.
Basically, yeah.
So I'm just a really advanced AI.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, so the thing that I was mentioning before about the ancient times, right?
Okay.
In Plato's allegory of the cave, he talks about how the things that we believe are real are only real to us because that's all we've ever experienced. Which is basically kind of like the basis of the simulation theory is that we only think this is all real because it's all we know.
Interesting.
And basically in his story, the prisoners were in a cave, right? And they were just kept prisoner their whole experience was just only in that cave.
Right.
And so they would see the shadows of the people outside the cave.
Okay,
and
I've
they
heard
would
this one,
create their own reality, basically, of what they thought that was. Even if it's not true, that's what they perceived it to be.
So it's kind of like how we have different lore in like different countries, kind of? Or is that just...
It's kind of, but it's more like all we see. This is all we know. Everything we see right now, it's all we know.
Right.
But we don't know that we don't know for a fact that there's no other thing being in play here. We don't know that there's nothing else beyond this, beyond what we know. If that makes sense.
I guess?
So it's basically saying our perception may be completely different from what reality is. And even like quantum physics, it sheds doubt that the material universe is real.
What?
Because it's a really complicated thing that I couldn't comprehend when I was reading it. But basically there's like a lot of things that can't be explained or that are difficult to basically just prove are real. That's like quantum physics is such like a difficult topic because there's so many things that go into it, so many things that we have to figure out still.
But literally, I really don't know what to say to this because it's just like
he's not feeling it.
No, really though, because like I'm thinking to myself, right? I'm just like I'm really thinking about this from like an Assassin's Creed like Matrix type thing, right? Where it's just like literally just people watching over like just like other people basically sitting in like a tube, right? I don't see like it's a lot to comprehend, but it's also like the question of like why, like what are they studying in the first place to put us like in a simulation, or just like if they're putting us in a simulation, then why is life still crap? You know what I mean? Or it's just like I don't know, like I really don't see like what the point is in terms of just like there being like a simulation in the first place.
So it's like, okay, some of the theories about like why, like some of the theories about what we are basically, we're either simulated beings or a projection of our original selves, as if it were a video game, like you said, like whatever.
Okay.
And there was something I read before that it's also possible that we're being simulated to study an ancient civilization. Like it could be like years into the future, like whatever, and it could be our descendants basically trying to figure out what life was like during this time period that we're in right now.
So why
and they could be simulating us.
It's so weird though.
Like they could be simulating us to just learn more about how we would have lived, in the same way that we simulate things from our past now.
Do we really though?
Yeah, like scientists use simulations to study different things that they can't observe themselves.
I need some Carfax on that.
What do you mean?
Show me a source. Like
that's literally how they get like statistics on things. That's how they like run analysis. Like they simulate like.
Okay, when I think of simulation, like the way that you're talking about it, I'm literally thinking of like VR headset, Nerve Gear, Sword Art Online. Like my body and mind are basically just like two separate entities at this point.
It's like how to describe it? Like how like sometimes like NASA uses simulations to figure out like if a certain thing would work, if a certain like mission
but those
would
are
work
like those are like based off like just programs and calculations, right? There's always like a sense of probability right? That even though
that's like kind of why we're all like random. We could be just random things, random statistics, like the average of this, the average of that.
That's hurting my brain. Just the thought of just being ones and zeros.
Information. Yeah, they could have inputted just like information about what they knew about us, but us being their ancient people, like they're Neanderthals.
At the same time, though, I really don't see the point in studying an edgy 18-year-old boy who likes anime.
They don't have to be studying you in particular. They could just be studying how society works, and we're just all like random lines of code in it that contribute to it some way.
I just gotta chill down my spine. Interesting.
Alyssa, how do you feel?
So much has happened in the past like 10 minutes. I do not know where to begin. But, I have my existential crises. So, I've never really thought much about, someone controlling me, because some of the decisions I make, that's purely me. No one else can do that but myself. Like, I just do the dumbest shit, and it's either a 4-year-old is playing my game right now, or I'm just incredibly stupid. Because some of the things that I do make absolutely no sense.
But you're not necessarily being controlled by someone. You could just be like a random, like simulated being, like an NPC character.
God.
Oh my god, that's the worst. Why would you say that?
It's
you called me an NPC in my own life? I'm not even the main character?
I
We
mean,
can all be NPCs.
It doesn't make sense though, because like we're just like coded to like act this way.
Yeah, we're just coded to act randomly to simulate how society is.
even then though, artificial intelligence, like,
why did we build robots then?
Why did we build robots?
Yes, if we're just code, why do we build robots?
Probably because they're like
It's
Sam
within
said.
like what was developed in life. It's like the theory, like, because if it's like some future civilization, they could be running this code from what we perceive as the beginning of time. They could have been running it like running the progression of how it could have been, like predicting it. They could have predicted that now is the time where we started working on AI and like developing all these programs.
They predicted COVID?
Huh?
They predict COVID?
Maybe. It was like Plague INC.
Either that, or they were just like, well, if we're in the future, technically, and it's just like, oh, COVID-19.
Or they could have known that it happened at some point, and they just
wanted to add that.
Who's they? Who is this they?
Our
we
future.
Don't freaking know. It could be aliens. It could be like scientists.
Yeah.
It could be literally
some higher being. It could be like our descendants in the future who are running this program to see how life was like during our time.
It sounds like some crazy ass like.
But that doesn't make sense. How do we have descendants if we're just like?
But we're not real, but our descendants are. It's not necessarily our descendants. We're just random people.
It's literally it
Right.
could be like us, right? Like we don't need to know like the lives of Native Americans or something, right? But like people can like find out stuff about that, right? It's literally stuff like that. That's the way I look at it, at least. I just can't understand how a supercomputer can make me so stupid.
Because you were like that in real life. Like
That's
their ancestors
actually
were like that in real life.
tough. Can't you give like a guy a little bit of a break?
You're like basically kind of like you're basically the essence of what people were like for them back, like for their ancestors. Like we're like the average intelligence or whatever, with a few like outliers of what people would have been in that time.
So there are a lot more outliers in that case.
Okay.
I'm just okay.
Okay, the next we have like a quote now from Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh.
Okay, he says, odds are 50-50 that our entire existence is a program, because it's completely possible there are beings with much higher intelligence out there with like the technology to create the simulation. And that also like brings up the fact that everything is possible it's possible for anything to be simulated, basically, because we have all this technology. We don't know the capabilities of what technology will be like in the future. It's completely possible that they have the technology right in the future to do all of this, even though we don't right now. If we don't have the advanced systems to run this kind of thing where everyone has their own personality and individuality, even if we don't have that now, in the future, it's very possible that they'll have it and that they'll be able to run all of this and that we're just a part of that. Andrew just went silent. You can't argue that that's not possible, though, because that's literally...
Well, nothing's, like, guaranteed in life. The only two things that are guaranteed in life are death and taxes.
Okay, boom.
We're always, like, birth is never truly guaranteed, because people can, like, you know, have a thing, right?
Yeah.
People are always guaranteed to die. And if you are alive, you're gonna have to pay taxes.
Well, taxes... What if... Okay, that's unrelated.
This is totally unrelated.
What was I gonna say? Okay, and then another thing that people point out is that a lot of the universe is based on mathematical laws and symmetry, like how like Pythagorean theorem, and like, is it Pythagorean theorem?
It's Pythagorean theorem. What? A squared plus b squared equals c squared?
The one that's a spiral. Isn't that Pythagorean theorem?
No, Pythagorean theorem's trying to figure out the sides of a triangle, Sam.
No. Okay, what was it called then? Pascal. Hold on, let me Google this real quick.
Are you serious? I thought you had notes.
No, I thought it was Pythagorean theorem.
Like I said, the most unorganized podcast on the internet.
Edit this part out, Andrew.
Nope, this is staying in. Now that you said to edit it out, I'm definitely keeping it in now.
I swear to God. I swear. Oh, the Fibonacci sequence.
The Fibonacci.
That's what I meant.
You got the Pythagorean theorem from Fibonacci. You got a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A simple concept they teach in middle school.
Pythagorean theorem is just so ingrained into my mind now because that's all we use in math at this point. Okay, anyway, Fibonacci sequence. How everything's like a spiral, how it's like all perfectly calculated, how it's found in like snail shells and sunflowers, and like there's so many examples of how
Naruto is a Fibonacci sequence.
Of how it's found in nature. So that's something they point out, and also like just like the mathematics of everything, how everything works out sometimes, like the symmetry in things, like butterflies, I guess, like symmetry, how it works out basically. Some things are just too specific and too like it makes too much sense mathematically, basically.
Like, what about the Fibonacci sequence, though?
Like, how it's found, how it's like, what are the odds that so many things have the Fibonacci sequence involved in it? Like, what are the odds that just naturally it just so happens that this one sequence just occurs naturally all throughout, like, nature and the world?
Alright, time to Google this. Natural example. You keep going with your thing, but I'm gonna... I gotta look this up. Besides, like, snail shells and shit.
And then... So basically the whole argument is that the biggest argument is that it's hard to get evidence that we're not in a simulation because anything can be simulated. Like, anything is possible. Anything can be simulated, and probably anything will be simulated in the future.
I hate that.
Like, simulating things is a big way for people to research things that they don't have access to now.
Well,
that's like how, like, that's how it works. I don't know how to explain it besides that's just a method that people use in, like, a lot of fields. Like, that's how people calculate, like, how likely it is for something to happen, the odds of this happening and all that, is by simulating what would happen with the data that they have.
I'm too monkey brain for this.
But now, now I'll present to you the opposing
arguments,
the antithesis of this whole thing.
Let's hear it. I'll probably believe those more.
Andrew will believe it more. The thing you mentioned this earlier, but the main question would be like, why would we be simulated?
That's
if we're not interesting
what
enough?
I'm saying.
That's like the big argument. Like, why would they want to simulate us? What's so important about us?
Look, I understand. Look,
people want to research.
Okay, here's what I would understand, right? In our lifetime, a lot of stuff has happened, right? But yeah, so like in our decade, like in the past 2 decades, or like the time we've been alive, it's like so much has happened, like a lot of hurricanes, a lot of natural disasters, like especially like fires and stuff. 9/11 happened within like the past 2 decades. COVID-19 is the biggest one right now. I'm gonna not get monetized for this sole reason now. Like so much like bad stuff has happened that's just like understandable why they would look at it, but why would they go into like the very nitty-gritty details? Like why do they need to like simulate the life, well, like I said, an 18-year-old dork who collects action figures? Sure, mate, like for all I know, like I can contribute to like the future, but what does that mean for like every other person? You know what I mean? Like isn't that just kind of like a waste, right? Because if they're looking at society at a broader spectrum, right? Like I don't see why they can't just like delete a few things. You know what I mean? Because it's not like, I don't think, don't hold me to this, but like if I went back in time, right, and like I just like took out one like person that didn't make a difference in the world, I don't think the world would end, right? Because like you see all those like crazy like stuff. It's not like the grandfather thing, right? Like if I shot my mom, I wouldn't be born, obviously, right? Like something like that, right? Like the grandfather effect, right? Like obviously if like I ended up like taking out my mom or something like that, or like someone else that was involved in my like creation, right, or got rid of my grandfather or something like that, right, I wouldn't exist, obviously, right? But like if it's a simulation, right, we know who are important historical figures. For all I know, I could be like a Nobel Peace Prize winner, Sam could be like an award-winning writer, Alyssa can be like someone who discovered the cure for cancer, for all I know, right? But what about the other people?
Why do I have to be in the medical field first?
I'm just giving examples, okay? I'm like literally rambling right now. But like what I'm saying is, right? Like what I'm saying is, it's just like, like why do we have to factor in like the people who like end up just like dying without having anything like done with their life, right? It's just that's so dark, right? But like why would in a simulation they have to account for like all those like tiny little insignificant little things, right?
But this is like argue that we're all important as a whole. Like the way you may not think that you're significant. Like the average person, even if they don't affect like the course of the world or anything like that, they still affect people in their lives, and those people affect other people, and it just kind of continues on and on. Everyone affects someone who affects someone else, and it's like a whole butterfly effect of like everyone. It's like a domino effect, that everything is like connected with each other. So you may not think you're affecting anyone, but your actions may affect someone who affects someone else, who affects someone else, who goes on to find the cure for cancer.
Jesus Christ.
You don't know that you're not, like, everyone plays a part in society.
Go on with your other arguments.
And even if, I just want to preface real quick that I don't believe this. I'm just stating, I'm making the argument for the sake of the argument.
Okay.
I don't want to sound crazy. But basically, even if we're not significant, even if you somehow affect no one at all in your entire life, which is not possible because you encounter so many people in the span of your entire lifetime, even if you don't affect anyone, you're still like, they don't necessarily, whoever's simulating, if they're simulating us, you don't necessarily have to play an important part. You could just be like a filler character, like a part of the society where they could be studying COVID right now based on the simulation, and they could be like looking at everyone, like the major figures. They could be looking at how it affects students, how it affects teachers, how it affects adults and kids, whatever. You're just a part of that population, but you're not necessarily in the sample group that they're looking at.
Thinking
so you
emoji.
You don't necessarily have to be important, because it's like if they're only looking at the important people, then it would only be a handful of people that they're simulating. But in order for those important people to be important, they have to have other people who think that they're important and who put them on that pedestal of like, they're the main people in this society right now that provides impact, and they impact us. So they also have to study how the
Oh my.
decisions of others impact us. So the next thing that's like against the possibility is that studies find that it was impossible to simulate like a quantum computer, which basically means that it's extremely difficult to simulate like every little thing in the universe.
Yeah, like black holes or like
Yeah.
literally like.
But this is only in our realm of possibility of personality. It is only in our realm of possibility. The people who are simulating all this, their computers could be like a million trillion times more advanced than ours. Their computers, their IQ could be like 5 million times bigger than ours.
Oh Jesus Christ!
We could be like nothing in comparison to these people, because it's like they also looked at, when you look at it, like we're not that far genetically from like monkeys and apes. However, we have been able to advance this far with society in all these years, while they're still in like their primal state.
Laughs in TikTok, floss dance, etc. Literally, I could list a bunch of like stupid shit that like we as human beings have done in the past. Like trends are literally proof that like most of us are monkey brain. I'm not even gonna front.
Okay, but it's like, it's not that aren't people who are stupid in our society. It's that like people, like we as a subgroup of the animal kingdom, basically, we have advanced so far in comparison to other animals who've been alive just as long. Like dinosaurs were a thing before, and then like people, they evolved into like birds and like lizards, different whatever, or devolved, whatever. But they haven't come as far as we have. We're still one of, if not the most advanced being in our world that we know of. So who's to say that we're not just some primal being in comparison to these other higher beings who are simulating us?
Really, just
this is basically like, you know, Horton Hears a Who?
Yes, I do.
We're basically
yes
on that piece of whatever it was, that piece of
that
pollen.
Freaking
basically.
yeah, essentially, like
like that could be us in comparison to Horton.
Bruh.
Horton with a bigger IQ who's controlling all of this
Lord.
and simulating us.
Big brain Horton plays. That's so stupid.
But it's not. You can't prove definitively. Well, you can't.
Obviously, I can't prove anything definitively because there's like no proof of it. Like.
Yeah. But there's no proof either way. It's literally a 50-50 chance that it's possible.
I really don't. That's like saying like it's like the same thing with like religion and shit, right? Like we don't know if heaven's for real for sure, right? It's like unless there's definitive proof, right, that God or like heaven or Satan or like literally anything exists, there's always gonna be a 50-50 chance.
Well,
like I don't get the point of it. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what to say to this. I'm so like stumped. I just don't even know what to say.
And this theory connects with like several other conspiracy theories, like the Mandela effect, and like the idea that there's like several other universes out there, parallel universes.
Oh geez, there is a gender bend universe out there, isn't there?
There's a universe out there
where I'm a girl.
Where I'm a guy and you're a girl.
Oh god, I'm an ugly girl then.
No, there could be a universe where you're like the most attractive person in the world.
I'm just imagining like the Squidward thing, like where he has like the chiseled chin and stuff. Like everyone just looks like that.
But yeah, it's like this theory could back up other theories of like, oh, like why Mandela effect happens, why some people remember one thing. It could be like a glitch in the simulation. or like I don't know, different things that have happened that people are like, oh, like that happened and it shouldn't have happened. Like, how is this possible? How is that possible when it shouldn't have been?
Right. I don't know, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to like say to that.
Well, that's this theory. Does anyone have any thoughts?
None.
Head empty, no thoughts.
No, literally, it's just no. It's like I don't like theories like this, right? Where it's just like, at least with like the Mandela effect and stuff like that, right? Like that, right? There's like definitive proof, right? Even like outlandish theories, right? Such as like cloning, they have like crazy evidence, right? Like Beyonce glitching at a basketball game, or like whatever that guy's name was. Maybe it was Eminem. I don't know. Whoever, like there was that one rapper who was like in the New Year's thing where he kind of just like froze, right? And then people call it clone glitching, right? At least there's like somewhat evidence of it, right? With the simulation theory, it's almost like, well, yeah, it could or couldn't be. Like it's literally based on like almost how like crazy you are, essentially, right? Or just how much you believe in it, right? Like if you actually if you believe in the simulation theory, you'll be like, oh my god, that makes sense, right? Like you will always tie it back to the idea that everything's just a simulation. You could say like, oh yeah, like this bad thing happened to me because like someone programmed it, right? It's almost the same as like someone saying like, oh yeah, this bad thing happened to me because it was either I had bad luck because God said so, like just any random thing that we will attribute to it just because we believe in something like that, right? So the simulation theory, it's like it could happen, it could not happen. I don't even know how the whole simulation thing would work, right? Or just like it's always been a question in my mind, right? It's just like, what do we see after certain things happen, right? Like I said earlier, it's like we see things from like our own perspective, like we literally see it like a first person view. So it's just like, what do we see after that? Just like, what's the idea? Like nothing existing anymore, right? So in terms of simulation, it could literally just be a flip of a button and just like the entire thing's over. It's crazy thoughts like this where it's just like, I don't even know. And it's just like literally it's just like, because of that perspective thing, we learn to like trust some things and learn not to trust some things, right? Because you know, you've had vivid dreaming before, right? Or just like dreaming where it felt like so realistic, right? Sometimes I have dreams, right, where they're so realistic that sometimes they just become like almost a memory, right? Yeah. Like where I'll start to question like, did I actually go to school with no pants on, or like was that just a dream? I'm just I didn't have a dream like that, right? But there are certain like dreams I've had where I've had like a full day of school essentially in my head before like school even happened, right? Yeah. So with the simulation thing, right? Is it like, was there a glitch in the system, or did I just dream it? You know. That's why it's like hard to stomach or just like fathom like theories like this, because you just don't know. You really just don't know.
It could be out of our realm of understanding of how this all works.
Still though, I really don't get the point in like trying to like simulate like a boring ass like thing. I don't know. I really don't know.
To study life on Earth in general.
I don't think anyone's gonna
works.
Look at it this way, right? If someone were to make a textbook about us, it would be really just like, we wouldn't need a simulation. We just need to know the bare facts. And since it's like, especially in our day and age, right? I say we can keep a pretty good record of stuff that's happening. Not too accurate, because there's always bias in like news articles, right? So say someone in like 2104, right? They look back and they see like records of like Trump being president. They're gonna have the good stuff. You're gonna have the bad stuff. But like that being said, though, you still have a general information of like what's happening. We definitely know at that time period, like.
But people might want to study, like it could be lost information.
It could be like it could be like sociology, where like they want to see like how far human relationships have like gone and stuff. But at the same time, right, you still get that from like archived text messages or like literally.
But the thing is, like, what if some like disaster happens in the future
and you lose everything?
Like, Yeah, like if we lose all the information that we have,
then how would you compile enough for a simulation?
If like we only had some of the basic text, if we didn't have all the things recorded that we needed, we could have the basic facts like Corona happened, like 9/11 happened, this that happened. But we don't know exactly the things that led up to it, the things how people reacted to it, and all that.
Then I have no idea how the people of higher intelligence or whatever would compile that information to begin with. I really don't see how they would be able to do that if they have no records.
If they had just the facts, like the basic facts.
No, but even then, like, how would they get like the nitty-gritty stuff? Like,
that's why they're simulating it.
But how would they know what to program to begin with? Like, how would you like program like your like AIs and stuff, right? Like, if you're programming like a video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what you're programming. Mario like has a developed personality and stuff like that. Like, if you're making like a game, like I guess it could be like a game like Persona, where like the like character is like a blank slate and like they pick certain like choices based off that, right?
Yeah.
Except for in this case, like we're basically both the player and the like main character of the game, where like the program itself makes our own choices. But even then, like I don't see how they could make like the simulation of that to be almost like even close to like even 90% accurate.
Well, it could also be like, so something happens and there's only like a handful or like one community of survivors. They could take information from those survivors because they're not going to be far off from how we were.
I mean,
they could take the information about them, and they could like use the information they had, but it would still only be the information that they had. It wouldn't be like all the information about the history. This could be like, or it might not even be our descendants. It could be some other being who wants to simulate what society would be like if we were a thing, basically.
Okay.
Alyssa, what do you think? Are you alive over there?
I am. I'm just trying to absorb what I just heard.
Bro, we're filming this right now. It's 1 a.m. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I'm gonna have like a whole crisis.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So wait, I need a recap of just give me the TLDR version of what just happened.
Oh jeez.
Basically, it's completely possible that we're a simulation, but
we're still on the simulation theory?
Yeah, what do you think we were talking about?
It just oh my god.
There's just so many things involved with it.
Not really. There are not as many things.
It's related to like Mandela effect and all that, but it's like
just the basic concept of it is just so outlandish to me.
To you?
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want to study what you're living right now.
Yeah, but like tinfoil hat people will also
be. There could be people out there, or like whatever's trying to study.
People believe in a flat Earth, but like I don't agree with them.
Well, there's evidence that the flat Earth isn't real. No offense to anyone who believes in the flat Earth theory.
No offense.
But there's proof. There's proof that the Earth is
round.
Then
there'll also be the people who are like, but there is also proof that it's also flat. Like, dude, like
you can literally see the curve of the Earth when you're high enough.
Hey, maybe it's a simulation.
You know, anything could happen.
Dude, like, I can't even. But Alyssa's like having like I could hear like the computer noises like coming from like the like the fax machine noises coming from her head right now. She's like trying to process this.
That one thing in SpongeBob where all the whole inside is just burning.
Burning is just like the like freaking tossing all like the like fat like the cabinets and everything.
I'm so done.
All right, so let's try to repair Alyssa a bit and go into something a lot simpler. You want to talk about the Mandela effect?
Sure.
We're only at 41 minutes, by the way, so we still have like a good hour or so left. We're good on time, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. This is now we're just going into just for fun, kind of though.
Okay, that's fine.
So basically, let's see. This is an article on Good Housekeeping. 40 Mandela effect examples that will blow your mind.
Oh my god, it's a BuzzFeed article.
It's Good Housekeeping. It's better.
Is it
This is
really?
what
I've
Housewives
never
read.
heard of Good Housekeeping,
Okay.
like, as a website.
It's a magazine, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, then that's just like a bunch of fluff to get people in. It's like clickbait almost.
Well, these are like examples. This isn't just like they're making it up.
Okay.
Okay, so basically Mandela effect, for anyone who doesn't know, it started with Nelson Mandela's death because people like distinctly remember him dying in prison in the 80s when he really died in 2013. It's like so many people were like confused when they heard news that he just died in 2013 because they were like, oh wait, I like remembered him dying in prison in the 80s, you know? So that was where it all started, basically. So, Alyssa.
Yes.
Okay, me and Andrew already mentioned this one because it was an example that I brought up. But you know the peanut butter?
Peanut butter?
The iconic peanut butter.
Not
The
Skippy,
peanut
by the
butter
way.
not Skippy.
Do you remember like a peanut butter brand with like a blue cap and it has like red, blue, and green and like their label?
It's not Skippy?
The other one.
This is the way she said it.
I mean, I didn't really eat peanut butter. I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
Okay. Do you know like? Do you think it's Jif or Jiffy?
Oh, you're talking about that? I
Yeah.
thought that was like a red cap.
I
Yeah,
don't
Skippy's
eat
a red cap.
freaking
Skippy's
Jif
a
peanut
blue cap.
butter.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? Blue caps?
Do you remember as Jif or Jiffy?
Jiffy?
You're incorrect. It's Jif. It's just Jif. And it's
Oh.
always been just Jif.
That's strange.
I'm gonna say my argument at the end of this, but keep going with the examples.
No, say your argument because this is like for this one in particular.
No, literally. Okay, so the way I look at it, right, is that like Jif versus Jiffy, right, and like stuff like that, right. As you're growing up, right, your parents especially will come up with special terms for it, especially since you're a kid, right? Like, for example, in the Philippines we have this dish called dinuguan, right? It's literally just like pig's blood, like whatever, like all that. It's literally just black almost, right? And the way that my mom would call it for like me and my sister, we literally grew up calling it black stuff. So that's just the way like it's always been for us. We acknowledge it's called dinuguan, but we still call it black stuff and stuff, right? But that being said, right, same thing with like Jif and Jiffy, right? So say like you're a kid, right? Your parents will always like give you the baby talk type of thing, right? So they'll probably say like Jiffy because like that's like a term. Like I don't know if you guys know this term, but like there's like the term like I'll be back in a jiffy kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I assume like most people would like word association, right? They'll probably use Jiffy, and then as their kids are growing up, they want to like, you know, make it sound like cute, and then they'd like raise their kid calling it Jiffy, and then like the kid will kind of remember it like that. They'll like create like almost like a false memory, so they'll remember it as Jiffy even though it's always been Jif, right?
But I don't think as a kid the parent would be like, hey, have some Jiffy, like just be like, wouldn't they just be like, have some peanut butter?
Do you want some
like,
Jiffy, dear? Like literally, like it sounds crazy, but like if you think about it, right, like it
that
could
makes sense though. Yeah.
it like we all like kids will always have a certain name for something. So in that case, we can always create like a false image in our head, right? Like when you imagine something, right, you're already creating like a picture in your head. It doesn't have to be like grounded and real. We get like some sort of like image of it. So you can look at something and like get an idea of it, but then since like we can see the bottle as being like, we know how the bottle looks like, the jar, it says Jif on it, but then because we've like grown up knowing this, the way it's pronounced, we add the extra FY in that specific font and stuff, and that's how we remember it.
Yeah. There's also like in this article, because it gives like an explanation too, which is very handy. They said that it's possible that people are combining it with Skippy, like how we confused it in the beginning.
Yeah. So
that they might just confuse it and just mix it together and be like, oh, it's Jiffy instead of like Jif and Skippy.
Yeah, so like, yeah, see, like stuff like word association. That's why I think like stuff like the Mandela effect happens. But at the same time, though, like, also, like, the Berenstein versus Berenstain Bears, right? Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's whatever sounds right to you. Like, Berenstein sounds right to me, but is it actually Berenstain, right?
Yeah.
That just doesn't sound right. But, like, that's also based on, like, what I've been, like, raised to know, right? For all I know, like, our old, like, pre-K teacher probably said Berenstain, and then me being a kid and still figuring out how stuff works, right? Like, I probably only read this book. I never, like, was an avid Berenstain Bears fan. Like, I wouldn't go back and be like, damn, that was a good-ass read. No, I'd probably just be like, okay, that was cute. I'm never gonna, like, read this book ever again.
I loved the Berenstain Bears as a
Me
kid.
too.
But do you remember it as Berenstein or Berenstain?
Alyssa.
I remember this, like, you know,
Like,
I remember this,
with the Mandela
like,
effect thing, right? Did you, like, were you surprised when you heard it's Berenstain instead of Berenstein? Or were you just like, it's always been Berenstain?
I was very fucked up for a while.
I'm crying.
I was like, what the fuck? Berenstein?
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Berenstein just makes more sense, though. Like, in my mind, like, I've never heard, like, a last name that's, like, Stain instead of Steen.
I don't know. I think that one hit home because I watched it so much as a kid and I read the books as a kid a lot. So I guess that just, like, it really bothered me when I found out it was spelled differently.
I guess.
And
Bro, I, like, asked my mom about it when I first heard about it. And I was like, do you remember if it was Berenstein or Berenstain? And then she was like, oh, I thought it was Berenstein, but, like... And then I was like, no, it's Berenstain. And she was like, okay. Like, she didn't care.
That's like most Asian parents, though. Like, if I asked my parents, they'd be like, why aren't you, like, doing something else with your life right now? Like,
she was like, that's cool.
That's cool. Alright, what else you got? Because that's not really selling me.
Looney Tunes.
What about it?
How did you spell it?
Isn't it Looneytunes?
That's, you remember it, like, the right way.
Yeah, because it's...
I remember Looney Tunes, like Toons, because
No.
it's like cartoons.
No.
Looney Tunes, cartoons.
No, Looney Tunes was always like merry melodies, so I always associate with music. Lol.
I never associate with music.
So yeah, but like for Looney Tunes, right? I always associate with like merry melodies, right? So even on like the Space Jam one, it's not TOON squad, it's tune as in like music. Also, disclaimer, since Alyssa's roommates just came in, she's gonna be mute for a while. So if she's not gonna participate for a bit, then what else you got?
Next one is Febreze.
What about it?
How do you spell Febreze?
Febreeze.
It's only one E.
What?
Which doesn't make sense because it's breeze.
Febreze.
Literally. It literally Febreze doesn't even make sense.
That sounds so stupid.
But it's Febreze. It's there's only one E. She says she's not drunk, but she's okay. The next one, okay, this is boring. I'm not gonna do that.
What do you mean?
Skechers. How do you spell Skechers?
Skechers.
Okay. People remember having a T before the CH.
Okay,
like
those people are stupid. I rocked them Skechers, or was that Geox? Never mind. Whatever. Y'all not remember Geox?
How do you spell Fruit Loops? Geox? Are you kidding?
Isn't it?
I know like one person who's ever owned a pair of Geox.
Isn't Fruit Loops FROOTS loops LOOPS?
A lot of people remember as Fruit Loops, so like
well, yeah,
FRUIT.
Because that's just.
And also, the logo with the two O's looks wrong to me.
Really?
I don't know why. Like fruit with two O's.
Keep in mind, I don't even eat Fruit Loops, so.
I was never allowed to have Fruit Loops.
That's tough. My mom gave me the like crappy like bootleg rainbow Cheerios. They weren't Fruit Loops, but they were like just ugh.
the healthy.
Whatever, man.
Okay, the next one, Monopoly Man.
What about
People
it?
remember him having a monocle.
No, not really.
A lot of people remember him having a monocle, but he doesn't. And their solution on this website was like, there's a confusion between him and the planter's peanut.
That's really tough. I mean, both have top hats.
I always thought that Monopoly Man, though, I always thought he looked like the Pringles guy.
I thought he looked like a mix of the Pringles guy and the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy.
Colonel Sanders?
Yeah, Colonel Sanders.
Oh my god. Oh, Pikachu.
What about it?
His tail. People remember him having that black bit at the end of his tail.
No, not me. But like...
Well, that's how people remember it, Andrew.
Well, like, I've seen Pikachu way too much to like...
Yeah, that's true. People, like, clearly remember a black detailing at the end.
Okay,
when
but
it's not.
I think that's because, like, he has, like, the brown stem. Like, for me... Oh, wait. It's because his ears have the black tip at the end of his ears, right? If anything, I kind of remember Pikachu having, like, brown stripes going across his, like, tail for a bit, but, like, not, like, at the end of it. But I think that's because my sister made, like, a freaking Play-Doh thing out of it that I remember. But, I don't know. But,
I feel like, what if people are just remembering, like, knockoff versions?
That's what I'm thinking! Like, like, there's so many stupid ways that people can just associate things with that. Especially if they don't, like, pay attention to it. Like, me being a guy who's into, like, Pokemon and stuff, I'll obviously remember that Pikachu doesn't have that.
Yeah. Okay. The next one, this one, like, I feel like I definitely remember it being the way that's wrong.
What's up?
But, like, the Fruit of the Loom logo.
Isn't it, like an apple and, like, a cornucopia and stuff?
Yeah, there's no cornucopia, though.
What?
I've always remembered it having a cornucopia. Like, I literally, even without them showing the picture, I, like, could vividly remember seeing the logo of it having a cornucopia with, like, all the fruits coming out of it.
You're joking, right?
There's no cornucopia at all.
What?
It's literally just the fruits. Like, I feel like
okay, that one's the one. That one blows my mind.
I vividly remember the cornucopia being there.
Same. What? Really?
Like, yeah, there's no cornucopia at all. It's literally just fruits.
What?
Literally.
I'm shook.
I don't even, like...
Okay, that one's the first one to actually, like... Because you heard me... Okay, then. Cool. Alright.
Like, can you, like... I swear to God, I've never...
Yeah, I've...
Like,
what?
immediately if you say Fruit of the Loom, I'll think of the cornucopia, and even when you were describing it, you said the cornucopia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. I'm blown back. Whoa.
Is Fruit of the Loom gonna be the one that convinces you?
Dude, no. I'm still... Wow, okay. Keep going.
The next one is Cheez-Its.
What about
People, how do you spell Cheez-Its?
I don't want to freaking spell Cheez-Its to begin with. There's like a Z in there somewhere or something.
People remember it having a Z at the end, like Cheez-Its, but there's no Z at the end. It's just Cheez-It. That's their whole thing. Just Cheez-It. That's not plural.
Well, yeah, that's how I remember it. I don't remember like Cheez-Its. I said like...
There's literally no plural at all. It's just Cheez-It. That's their whole brand.
No, yeah, I know. Am I just like not affected? Okay, the cornucopia is one thing, but like, am I just not affected by the freaking Mandela effect? I guess. I don't remember there being like a freaking apostrophe S or anything like that. I don't remember anything like that.
I don't even. I vividly remember there being a Z, like cheese, and then it's also.
Not fam. Not no. No.
Anyway. Oh, okay. The next one, the Mona Lisa.
What about it?
People. Okay, I remember it differently from. I don't even know.
Okay.
I feel like, in my opinion, I thought she smelled less than she does actually.
Uh-huh.
like, okay, the theory that's presented on this website though, it's like they claim that she used to have a more obvious smile. But I always thought that the iconic thing. Okay, this is one I don't believe, I guess then, because I like I thought like the most iconic thing about the Mona Lisa was like the Mona Lisa smile, where she's like barely smiling at all.
I mean, I'm kind of looking at the pictures right now. I don't remember it being any other way.
The way, yeah, I feel like okay, yeah. I feel like I don't remember it being the way people believe it either.
Keep in mind, I've been to France and seen the Mona Lisa in person, so it's like I just never changed my mind.
What a flex!
Look, dude, I'm not trying to
Look,
I'm not trying to flex or anything, but like I've seen it in person, so it's just like I don't really see it any other way than like how it's usually presented.
Okay, next one. Do you watch Star Wars? Are you a Star Wars person?
Is this the Han shot first versus Greedo shot first?
No.
Okay.
It's about C-3PO.
What about?
The biggest thing that people get wrong, even like Halloween costumes, it's that people think that it's all gold, but he has a silver piece on his right leg.
How big of a silver piece?
It's like from his knee down. It's all silver.
Hold up.
On his right leg.
C-3PO. Hold up.
I don't think I've ever seen a full body picture of C-3PO, so I don't have an opinion on this one.
Huh.
But people remember him being all gold.
Yeah.
When he has the silver.
Whoa! Wow, I never noticed that actually. To be fair though, most of my me remembering C-3PO was mostly through like, ironically, like a Lego, and I don't think they would have printed something like that. So, and also like, obviously, if you're paying attention to the movies and stuff, right? Like, a lot of people that watch Star Wars were like kids, and then they grew up,
That's
right?
true.
So like Kenner, I know like watching a lot of like old retro stuff, right? When Kenner made their like Star Wars toy line, right? C-3PO was an all gold like action figure. So if you're like actively exposed to that, then there's no way you would like think of it on like any other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, since like most costumes get it wrong, they're just enforcing that idea, especially.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's kind of lame.
Okay, the next one. This one was one when I first heard it. Like I was like really shocked by it. But like in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Okay.
The when the Wicked Witch, the queen, whatever, says mirror, mirror on the wall, she actually says magic mirror on the wall. But I've always remembered it as mirror, mirror on the wall. That's like the iconic line, like mirror, mirror on the wall, like who's the fairest of them all.
I think I got that from Shrek. I'm saying that unironically. I do remember like Farquaad saying like, "Oh shit, wait, is it magic mirror on the wall in freaking Shrek?"
But yeah, I don't know. But in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's magic mirror on the wall. But
I didn't watch Snow White enough.
The next one's another like Star Wars one, where Darth Vader's like, Luke, I am your father, where he only says I am your father instead of saying Luke, I am your father.
Right.
People remember it as Luke, I am your father. Like that's the whole like iconic thing. But it's only I am your father. He doesn't say Luke.
I'm trying to...
I've like never watched Star Wars.
I do.
I don't care.
Whenever I did quote it, I did say Luke, I am your father.
I feel like in the mall, you know how they always had like those stands in the middle?
Yeah.
Like I always remember like the shirts that were like Star Wars themed always being like, Luke, I'm your father. I've never seen it just I am your father.
So this is just another freaking problem in marketing. Like, whatever, man. All right, what else you got?
I'm like scrolling through all the ones that I don't think are relevant to us because they're like old people's things. No offense.
Wow.
Like I don't think we're. I don't know.
So what does that have to do with the simulation theory, by the way?
Oh, these are all like people are like, oh, like Because if everything's a simulation, these are all just glitches.
God damn it!
Like, some people remembering one thing and other people remembering something else. It could just be a glitch in the code somewhere.
Isn't there another theory that's just like we're slipping into another dimension or something?
Yeah, it could be like we're changing realities, like something shifted.
Damn, then I really will never meet a future, like a version of myself that has superpowers.
Okay, the next one, Mr. Rogers theme song. Mr. Rogers, an iconic part of my childhood.
Not me.
Okay. But when he sings "It's a Beautiful Day in in the Neighborhood," people people remember as "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood," but in reality, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, which I feel like that's an easy mistake though.
Those are just like minor like things.
Yeah.
This
one's just stupid. Like, no offense to anyone, this next one is just really dumb if you think it.
Watch my mind get like completely blown.
No, it's literally dumb. Like, no offense.
Alright, let me hear it.
The number of U.S. states.
50.
The correct answer is 50, but some Americans recall learning that there were 51 or 52.
I feel like I remember that.
Unless they're counting like satellites, I guess. Is that what it's called? Where like they're under U.S. territory, but they're not part of the U.S. Like Cuba. Or I guess maybe some people like assumed that all 50 were in the mainland and then Hawaii and Alaska were separate. Like we're 51 and 52.
Okay, that's just not. No. Okay, yeah, move on. That one was actually stupid.
Okay. Let's see. Neil Armstrong's death.
I don't remember.
People have no recollection of his death. And many fans apparently forgot or didn't notice the news of his passing in August of 2012. I don't remember that, but
I don't remember that either. 2012 was a weird time.
10 years old in 2012, so I don't think I cared about Neil Armstrong. I feel like, I don't know, Neil Armstrong, I feel like that's a big thing though when he died. It would have been a big thing. But I don't think I pay attention to the news at 10 years old.
I'm gonna sound really stupid. Neil Armstrong's the astronaut, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Bruh.
I'm tired. We call this the Midnight Channel podcast, but that was because I wanted to make a cheeky reference to Persona 4, but now it's actually like 1:30 in the morning, and college classes suck.
Oh, okay. How about this one? Location of Disney World's castle.
The center?
People remember it being at the entrance, though.
No. Lol.
I feel like people might think that, though, because it's like the iconic part, like people take pictures there.
Not really. I think it's just because it's like... because the main road leads to the castle, doesn't it?
I think so. I haven't gone to Disney World in a while.
And like most people are kind of fixated on it, I think. I haven't been to Disney World in a while, that being said.
Flintstones.
What about it? What, they're actually Flintstains?
People don't remember there being a T in Flintstones. People think it's like FLINSTONES.
Maybe I just paid way too much attention to my cartoons as a kid, but I do not like remember like there not being a T.
I agree, just because I feel like that's the whole joke. Flintstones. Flint is...
It's a rock. It's literally just a rock.
Okay, so another one is Target. Iconic. We love Target.
Costco begs to differ, but okay.
Costco's a wholesale. Target's like for general shopping.
I guess.
Okay, anyway, Target. The logo. People are debating on how the logo looks. Or looked, I guess.
Isn't it always like one center and then like outer ring?
Yes, but people remember it as being
two
red rings. And then and then the middle being white.
That's just... I don't know about that, Chief.
I feel like that's just them thinking it's more detailed though than it is.
Or they're just thinking of a bullseye.
Yeah, well, Target is a bullseye.
No, but like the actual like bullseye, right? Like where there's like scores and stuff. you know.
That's true. I'm trying to. There's another one of J.C. Penney.
Okay.
How do you remember it being spelled?
JCPENNEY.
People remember it being penny, like the coin, like PNNY without the E.
Oh, damn. Maybe I just paid
I-
attention too much as a kid.
I think that's just up to like how people say it though.
Exactly.
I feel like a lot of the false remembering things though, I think is just people...
Bullshit simulation crap. This is literally just like people like freaking interpreting things wrong.
That's, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
And then let's see. I feel like most Mandela effects though, it's just up to how, like, if you went your whole life thinking it was something, no one ever corrected you, you're gonna just think that it's that until you see this mind-blowing post about, like,
right.
oh, it was actually this instead of that.
Because the whole thing with the Looney Tunes thing was just like, you know, like that, stuff like that, essentially.
Yeah. I don't even know if I knew how to spell when I was watching Looney Tunes.
It's just like the way you hear it, and then like because you're kind of familiarize yourself with like how certain things are spelled, you like take it that way.
I feel like also, I don't know, it might just be people like maybe they haven't seen like the examples in like movies and things. People might just have not seen the actual one, and like someone, like one person out there said it wrong, and then it just kept going on and on until a lot of people thought that way.
Right.
Anyway, let's see. The other ones I've been finding are like the ones that are kind of like a lot of people have known already, like how in like Forrest Gump, he's like, oh, like life is like a box of chocolates, but it's was instead of is. I love like the small grammar sentence ones. I feel like it's just easy to mess up though.
I feel, yeah.
Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar win.
Wasn't that like recently?
People remember him winning an Oscar before 2016.
Lol, no.
Like for the Titanic or like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, because he did really well in those movies too.
True, but what didn't he go into for The Revenant?
Yeah, that's the one he got.
Yeah.
I feel like it's iconic though that he has never had one until then.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
So,
damn.
The Ford logo. Oop, it just scrolled. Okay. Do you remember the curly wave at the end of the F in the Ford logo? Oh, I don't pay attention to car logos. Oh, wait. Actually. Well, the way it looks.
Yeah, what about it?
Basically, the F has like a little extra loop in the dash in the middle.
Yeah.
But people don't remember that. Or people don't remember that was there. People think it was just a regular cursive F.
Yeah, probably because people didn't pay attention to it. It's just,
Yeah.
it's literally just
anyone.
Like, this whole Mandela effect thing is so stupid because it's just a matter of, like, how much you pay attention to something. Or it's just, like, how much you associate it with something.
Yeah.
Glitch in the system, my butt. I don't know. Like, some of them are just... Like, okay, the cornucopia thing blew my mind.
I'm still, like...
I'm
not
shook.
over that one.
That's that's the stupidest thing to be shook over, but, like, I'm, like... That one, like, threw me off guard.
I can't... Like, the one that doesn't have the cornucopia looks fake.
Right.
But
keep in mind, like, I have stuff from Fruit of the Loom, like shirts and stuff, so I've like seen the logo and stuff, so that's just super weird.
I feel like I would always see it in like Target and stuff, like
right, yeah, exactly.
I feel like the cornucopia was like an iconic part of the logo too.
That's what
I don't know.
Damn, I guess not.
I guess we all just remember that wrong. That's crazy though, like the cornucopia, like of all of these, that's like the most like...
That's the one that like took us off guard. I thought it was just boring in comparison.
in comparison to Fruit Loom.
Oh my god, that's so dumb. I don't know, man.
It's because like it's so simple and it's so like everyone. I feel like almost everyone has seen that logo if you've been to like any Target or like any store that sells just clothes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I literally can't imagine it like genuinely. I don't like what every time I'm like trying to recall like all the times I've walked through Target with like my parents or whatever. I always recall like there being like a cornucopia in it. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Maybe we're all just stupid and imagine that there was a cornucopia there for some reason.
Damn. Well, I don't know, like, you pretty much just summarized what I had to say.
I feel like that's good enough for today.
That's a good place to end off?
Yeah, at our disbelief about Fruit of the Loom.
Alright. Well, thank you guys for listening to this edition of the Midnight Channel podcast. Like I said, this was for almost like, not preparation, but it's almost like a teaser of what's to come with Sam's unnamed series. We're trying to come up with a name for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll see.
Do you want to give us a rundown on what your series is going to look like if it does come into fruition? I'm just saying, you could drop it anytime.
Honestly, yeah. Okay, that's basically gonna be me doing makeup to the theme of either conspiracies or crimes that we're gonna talk about, either just me and Andrew or with a group, depending on. There's usually more of us, but most of them are either asleep or doing other things right now.
Yeah, we kind of started college recently, so everyone's kind of burnt out.
And we just wanted to get this done, so.
Well, I wanted to have fun tonight. But
yeah, it was fun. It was a good debate.
It was a good debate. I'll definitely say this though. I will put her channel in the description. It's already on my channel, essentially, of like featured channels.
It's not. I made a new one.
Oh my god, you're so annoying. I'll link her new channel in like the link in description and everything. So if you do like this content, then I'm pretty sure you'd like her content at least. Yeah. So on that note, see ya.
Bye.